share them with. And it's life, and the point is enjoying who you share it with.
All right, guys, this is another episode of Field Tested with Brad Arington. We talk about, on these podcasts, we talk about leaders. We talk about how to lead, how to hold that elite standard. But what is the most key to a team? It is all the ones that follow. Whether you're on a baseball team, the coach isn't out there pitching the ball. The coach isn't out there hitting the ball. On a football team, the coach isn't out there making the tackle. He's not making the pass. It's about the ones that follow. And out of all the people that I know, the real MVP is my beautiful wife, Miss Ellen, that has been an amazing follower and has supported me when nobody else would or did through all the years. So I'm super excited to have you on today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So Miss Ellen is not excited about this. This is something that I have talked her into, but I would just like to tell the listeners, you know, I preach to the Mossy Pond team, and I preach to all the baseball teams and the football teams, and, you know, talk about the dogs, about how important a leader is. But, you know, in everything, every team out there, General Patton, he's not the one out there hand-to-hand combat. I mean, his people have to follow, and they have to believe in him, that his plan will work. Tied ball game with seconds ticking off the clock. Everybody out there has to believe that the plan of the leader has to work. And if all of those guys don't buy in and don't buy into the plan, they can't execute. And I'm going to tell the story of, you know, how amazing you are as a follower and a supporter. You know, since me and Miss Ellen met in high school, I was a senior, she was a sophomore. We knew of each other before that, mutual friends. But I was on the high school baseball team, and at that time, baseball meant more to me than anything. My senior year, she came on as a diamond darling. We had nobody to keep the books for the high school team, and Miss Ellen came on, and she was a diamond darling. She kept the books for the team. Well, of course, we started getting together and started talking on the phone, and we were courting at that time, back and forth, and I was coming over to her house and everything. Well, we had an inter squad right here in Pierce County. We had an inter squad, and she knew how important baseball was to me. And, you know, my plans, even though we were talking about it, my plans were, after high school, is go play D1 baseball. That's all. The only dream I had at the time. That was my dream. And we were inter squad, and I got to second somehow. I don't know. When I was on second, I stole third base, and I slid in kind of hard. It was a bang-bang play, and I broke my middle finger on my left hand, and the bone came all the way out of my hand. Had some great coaches, some coaches that I was friends with, I thought a lot of. But instead of doing the right thing, I hid the break. I actually held it in my hand. The next pitch on a pass ball, I stole home, went home. My best friend was on deck, and I walked over there to him. The coaches were, you know, of course, we only had 2 or 3 coaches, and they were having to coach both sides of the ball because it was inter-squad. And I went over there, and he looked at me, and I showed him the bone poking out of my middle finger, and he said, "Well, there goes your senior year, hero." He said, "This is a friggin' inter-squad." Well, I walked into the dugout, and Ellen was kind of there. She wasn't in the dugout because it was an inter-squad, but she was getting her stuff together to keep stats and work on her stuff. And right there, for the first time, I had somebody that when everything was stacked against me, she supported me in that decision. She said, "Hey, we're gonna make it. Don't get upset," because all I talked to her about when we were dating and up to this point was baseball, baseball, baseball. She said, "It'll be fine. We'll figure it out." Of course, at that point, we thought we were going to the doctor, get it set, and 6 weeks later, I'd be back on the field. Well, we came up with a plan. She got popsicle sticks that night. We put the two fingers together, and she supported me in that decision. Nobody supported my decision. All my friends, my mom, everybody said I need to go get it set. But my plan, whether it was right or wrong, you followed. You believed in me. Went on to fast forward through my year. She cut my two fingers out in my glove, and where I could put both fingers, even with the popsicle sticks that she made, in my glove. Of course, my finger's still messed up to this day. But I played my senior year and went on to be the MVP for our high school baseball team, which was important to me. Doesn't seem like much these days, but that was important to me. And fast forward a little bit, I had some letters and some offers from some small schools, nothing big, and we haven't talked about this in a long time, so all this is a shock. I didn't prep her for none of this today. So
Nothing.
But I want to describe how amazing you have been through this journey. We're sitting in Fernandina, beach weekend, my senior year, baseball's coming to an end. Now I have to make a decision. Do I go off to school and play ball, or do I stay home with you? At this time, the relationship has fast forwarded, and we're a lot more in depth with each other. And I love her. She loves me, still in school. And at that point, she said that she would follow me if I went to school, whatever it took. But I knew that was going to be unfair, tough. So I made the decision, out of all I wanted to ever do was baseball. And I decided to stay home. And I said, you know what? Out of all the decisions you've made, here's one person that is backing you no matter what decision you make, and you're about to run off and leave. And you're going to leave her, and you know it won't work. There's no way it would work. She'd be a junior in high school, and you'd be off at school. And I got to thinking about that, and I said, wow, this is pretty cool. Somebody really believes in, and wants to back me in any decision I make. What are you doing, big dummy? So I told my friends I wasn't going to school. Every single person that I knew besides her did not support that decision. Thought I should go to school, get an education, and play ball. Fast forward even more. Now I'm working at the railroad. We're dating hot and heavy. Training dogs on the side, Mossy Pond, starting the business. Comes to the point of me wanting to quit the railroad. Nobody supported it. My mom's dad, which is my grandfather, he retired as an electrician, diesel mechanic from the railroad. I was going to quit the railroad. One person again, Miss Ellen, stuck behind me, supported my decisions. Had several partners in this business to help me with capital and help me push this business forward. Best friends. One amazing partner that if you say that guy's name, famous gentleman, anywhere in the world, they know his name. And at one point, we were having a divorce, not an ugly divorce. We're still friends to this day. He still supports me and hunts out here. But we came to a point that we had to split. I thought it was the end of my career. Had one person, again, that supported me, believed in the decision that I was making, Miss Ellen. Went to New York, field trial on the road, 42 weekends a year, 7 months a year. My dream to be the best field trial dog trainer ever to walk the planet. Came down to the point that I wanted to go to New York, build a business up there. She supported it. 7 months for 7 years. We hardly saw each other.
Yeah.
You still supported me. You still were behind me, no matter what. No matter what the decision was. Now, did you hold me accountable? 100%. There were a bunch of, I don't know if I'd do that, Bradley. But when we made a decision, you were behind me. You supported me. The day I decided I wasn't going to be in New York no more, you told me, you said, I don't know how we will afford this. That is putting food on the table for our kids. If you don't go to New York next year, I don't know how it will work. I mean, there's just so many things over the years that, a lot of people come in and out of here and see that I'm the owner, Brad's the owner, Brad did this, Brad did that. But there is no way, no how that I would have ever done it. We would have never done it if you didn't believe in the decisions I was making. And through that, just like leading any team, any leader, it inspired me to make the right decisions. And there's so many decisions through life that you want to influence to make the wrong decisions. But when you have those strong followers, the football team working for that coach, or the baseball team working for that coach, or the 100 employees at Mossy Pond, if they don't believe in the plan and the execution, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And there are so many more followers than leaders. And there are so many more personalities that fall in the category of a follower. And I think that if you were so prideful and you let that get in your way, and you had a lot of your friends, a lot of relatives that, told you don't follow Brad as hard as you were, and there were times that I didn't make all the right decisions. But if you would have been prideful and dug your heels down and wouldn't have been that true follower, there's no way we would have made it in a relationship. And we could have blamed you, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact, Mossy Pond would not exist to this day. It wouldn't have been a thing. It would have never worked. And it all goes back to those popsicle sticks in the dugout with the coaches looking over there, wondering what we're doing. And I have somebody over there for the first time in my life that supports the decision, right or wrong. Bonnie and Clyde, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, a sophomore. You were a baby.
Yeah.
I was a baby. But it dawned on me, holy cow. I mean, stubborn, prideful, full of ego, Brad Arington said for the first time, holy crap, this person's going to back me no matter what. So, the humility and me being humble to see that, I said, well, I can't let this person down. And don't get me wrong, relationships and marriages are tough, and we've had ups and downs, but you've always been there. You've always backed me. And this is about to be your turn.
Oh, gosh.
So I want you to talk about what it means and the struggles if you're a follower out there. Let's say this, I love football, but I love every position on the football field. And you know that. Mm-hmm. But the quarterback and the wide receiver and the running back are sexy, right? Mm-hmm. They make the sexy plays. But when you look at a Super Bowl championship and you replay that game, that lineman that doesn't get any recognition, he blocked and executed his assignment every play throughout that game. He kept the other guy off of him throughout the entire game, whether it was a pass or a run or whatever it may be. And that guy doesn't get any recognition. Now, anybody that really knows Miss Ellen knows that she's the real MVP.
I don't know about that.
She's the one that has been there in the trenches, whether it's been raising our family, making decisions back home when I was on the road. I mean, the followers, let's say it out loud, they're more important than the leaders. But it has to be a beautiful marriage and it has to work. The leader has to lead, mm-hmm. but the followers have to be selfless enough to follow. And if they don't follow properly, or they let pride get in the way, or, hey, I want to make the decision, I want to be the leader, it doesn't work. And everybody's not built to be a leader, and everybody's not built to be a follower.
Yep.
I'm going to bounce around one time here. So I had the highest, Mossy Pond Retrievers, had the highest pass percentage in an AKC master test. It's a competition for our dogs that is a standard-based test. But at the time, we had the highest pass percentage in the master classification in the country. Okay? Well, that would be in the world. All right. At that time, I knew to be the best field trial trainer, I needed some help. Mr. Hugh Arthur came down and mentored me for 7 years at the time that we were the best.
Yep.
That was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, was to follow someone.
Yep.
And it's nuts to think of it, because when you're the leader, you're the leader.
Yeah.
Ellen's job's easy.
Yeah.
All she's got to do is pat me on the butt when I walk out the door in the morning and say, "Go get them, sport."
Yeah. If only.
Yeah. But to listen to Mr. Hugh tell me how wrong I was in different categories of the retriever game, that was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. And it made me think more about being a follower and how you follow me, and the decisions and how your words come across to be supportive, but to hold me accountable, but not upset me with my decisions and not break my decisions. Because I think you believed in my decisions. I believed in my decisions. But how do you counter those? How do you direct them in the right direction? How do you be a true follower? So if you're that baseball player that's not the leader, he's not the shortstop, he's not the pitcher, he's not the catcher that leads, he's the right fielder or the second baseman or the left fielder, and he's kind of in the shadows, but he gets the bunt down. He moves the runner from second to third. He gets the ground ball backside to move the runner. He does the selfless acts. And when you go back through the baseball season, holy crap. This whole time he put those pieces together where we won the ball game. How do you be selfless enough to do what you did through the years? And not to be disrespectful, but to be in the shadows. But it's just like the saying, I saw it somewhere. It's just like the eagle flying with his wings. You can't see the wind, you can't see the air, but without the wind and the air, he has no lift on his wings. Well, that's what amazing followers are. But without the wind, they fall, right? Yeah. The whole system falls, the eagle falls.
Yeah.
So what would you encourage young people that are following? Now, granted, I'll say this again, I'll repeat myself. Everybody's not a follower and everybody's not a leader. But as a follower, to be humble and be selfless on the baseball field, to be humble and be selfless and to trust the quarterback, trust the coach that they're going to make the right decisions. Our 100 employees that work out here, what would you say to keep those people humble enough, and how you are, in my opinion, the most amazing follower and supporter that I think you could hand mold. I mean,
Thank you.
You're absolutely amazing at it. In our marriage, with our kids, everything. Tell us, what do you think it means to be an amazing follower, and what do you have to do day in and day out?
Well, I think, first of all, you've got to see the big picture. And I think it's not difficult to be a good follower when you've got a great leader. When you have a leader who you still feel supported and you still feel seen, that's important. As a follower, though, I think you have to see the big picture and realize that your piece is important. You are important. I don't need recognition, and I don't love this kind of stuff. So I don't need to be in the front, but I want to support and be there for you. But I've worked for other people before working at Mossy Pond, and I've had to be a follower there. And
And you were amazing at it there too.
I can do that because I saw the big picture and I saw where I was important and where I was impactful. And I think God gives us all a place where we serve best. And I think I do serve best by being a supporter, being someone who can be there when somebody's having a moment. And like you said, it's not always easy. It's not always been fun. You know, it's been hard. There have been times it's not fun. It wasn't fun when you were gone for 7 months, but open, honest communication, constantly remembering the big picture, working together, that makes a big difference. And I think you have to understand what you're doing, and your job, your task is important. You are important, and I think you make people feel important as a leader, and I think that's important. You can't have successful followers if you're not a leader who notices, you know, somebody in the trenches. And you don't have to say it all the time, but every now and then when you give somebody a boost, that's kind of what they need. And at the same time, I feel like I'm happy to help someone, to serve someone. I've always believed in you and trusted you, and I have, you know this, but I have a faith that I think everything happens for a reason and as it should happen. I think God knows our plan way better than us and way longer than us. He knows what's going to happen, so I'm not fearful of things that are to come because I know no matter what it is, we've got it. We're going to handle it. It may not always be great, fun, or easy, but we've got it. I feel like I have a confidence because of you that I can handle things. And I think I'm a better person because of you teaching me things along the way because you are such a good leader. I can be a leader. I've been a leader a ton of times in my life, but I see when it's important for me to be a follower. And I think that's what's important for someone. Like if I was talking to our kids, I would say, what is your role? What is your task? What is your job? In this situation, your job is to follow. Your job is to be a supporter for this person. But there may be another situation where I say, hey, you got to step up and be a leader. There isn't a leader out there. You've got to be that leader. They need that. And it allows everyone to shine when you follow well. It allows everyone to shine when you lead well. So I don't know that there's like a secret recipe, but I do think that understanding your task, understanding your role in the situation helps you to see the big picture and helps you to see where you're best needed.
I think you hit the nail on the head, you know, for both sides to understand their role, to stay on their island and try not to do the other job, but for both sides to make each side feel important.
Yeah.
You know, there were times that as a leader, you know, and especially when you become successful in whatever you do, it gets lonely. You know, the ones that you thought were your friends. You know, I remember telling my grandmother when I was a senior in high school, I had over 100 friends because she told me I could count them on one hand one day.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, there's no way, Faye Mama. I mean, I have so many people that love me and we talk daily and in the commons areas before lunch. I mean, there's 40 people that me and you would hang out with and everybody was smiling and we just love people. I said, there's no way. But as success grew with our business and, you know, I don't know, a true full hand would be a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And it gets lonely, and to know that I had you there to support because, listen, I think I'm a tough guy, right? I'm a tough guy. There's nothing that can break me. Always been that way. And, you know, I felt that no matter what, I could do it, but I don't care how tough you are. And I think I'm tough.
Yeah, you are. I agree.
I think I'm tough. But, you know, no matter how, when people are hating on you and trying to drag you down because they're not, and you read all this stuff on the internet now, nobody better than you is going to bring you down. It's just the people under you. And, that's great. And I listen to it and read it and I want to believe it, but that stuff's hard. And it's hard to listen to, but I'd come home, talk to you, and, we'd pray, you would pray. God's got a plan, Brad, and in 5 seconds, I'm back on my phone. Hey, let's get after it.
Yeah.
What's the next plan? What's the next move? Let's keep rolling. Whether it's baseball, football coaching, raising the kids, Mossy Pond retrievers, the staff out here, the guides, the hospitality, whatever that was that we were dealing with that day, or whatever haters were hating on the business, or whatever things we heard behind our back, to have you in my corner. Without you in my corner, I don't care how tough you are, that'd break you.
Yeah.
And it does. And you watch these amazing leaders, Nick Saban, and the different ones that I study and watch and listen to that I love. I hear them say it, but they always got somebody.
Yeah.
They got somebody in their corner, and they got somebody back them and pushing them. And vice versa. That follower, he's out there, he's grinding, he's doing the dirty work, he's blocking when nobody sees him. My gosh, I blocked 100 times tonight. Nobody sees him. But that one pat on the butt by the quarterback, hey, man, you've covered my butt all night. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We got 4 more plays. Let's go. That's what that guy needs.
Yeah.
I mean, that little bit right there keeps the fire.
Yeah.
And, I'm not the best at being affectionate, even with you.
Yeah.
But a hug around your neck, a kiss on your cheek, hey, thank you. I mean, that buys me, a month or two?
Yeah, so we joke because I say you got to hug for 20 seconds or it doesn't count. And I know you love me. I know you love me because there are a million other ways you show me. But we joke about that because I'm like 20 seconds or it doesn't count. And you're like, gosh. So it's kind of a joke between us. But you're right. I mean, a 10-second hug. 20 seconds is what you're supposed to do. But a 10-second hug is important. And just briefly, because I am not glamorous in many of the moments because of the hustle and the craziness of life that we have. But you're right. The people that hate, the people that talk about us, the people that, want to kind of crush our spirit, I think it doesn't work because of what we have. And I think it doesn't work because when one of us is having that weak moment, we don't allow it. We say, hey, no, which is what a good leader does. So there are moments when, I lead that moment, that second, and I say, hey, Brad, no, we know the truth. We know how it is. We're not listening to that. That's noise. That's static. But there's a million times that you tell me the same thing because I feel defeated. And that's a moment of leading and following and the same thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to support you, to be there for you. But like I said earlier, it's a confidence you give me. But I think you do that with other people too. It's not just me. You do that with our children. You do that with the kids that you lead on the ball field. I see you do it out here. I think that you want to follow someone that believes in you too. I know that I wouldn't have the task or the responsibilities if you hadn't given them to me. Does that make sense? So
Without
you trust me to do that, and you have confidence in me to do that. So in return, same thing to you, how you said, well, I gotta do it for her. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to disappoint her because she supports me. I don't want to mess up. Don't want to disappoint you because you have confidence in me that I can do it. And we're neither one perfect, and we neither one get it right all the time. But I do think that 95% of the time, we know our roles, we know our task, and that's how we, for lack of a better word, that's how we mesh everything so well.
That's right.
You know?
And you said something earlier, and I think this is the key component. You had faith in Christ that he had a plan no matter what. And you did believe in me.
Yeah.
But you believed that God had a plan. With all the triumphs, all the me coming home, I think it's over. The ride's over.
Yeah.
You know, I always made a joke that we'll never go broke. And we had talks. There's times that you asked me, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll never go broke because I love mowing grass.
Yeah. Yeah. And I never worried. I was like, hey, he'll go mow grass. And that's a good job.
That's right.
A great career.
Well, you know, it's funny. I wanted to have a huge lawn care business.
You did, yeah.
I love mowing and keeping a yard. And, you know, I always told you, I said, people are too lazy. I said, I'm not talking bad about people, but people are too lazy to mow their own grass. I said, if everything fails, petting a dog for a living fails, I'll go mow yards and we'll never go broke.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know you believed in me and believed in what that statement was, but you'd not a full hug, not harshly, not over the top, but you'd just touch me and you'd be like, God's got a plan.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. You know, New York, the partners, the broken finger, the business making turns. Here's the other thing. I mean, that just is crazy. The employees that when you have 100 that come and go.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many special followers on our team, and there's so many special, great-hearted people that we learned that are good people, but they weren't great followers.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, even great friends of ours, and it just didn't work out. And as much as we tried, to make it work, you just couldn't make it work. And some are followers and some are not. And here's the thing. There were a lot of great leaders that came through this business that went on to be very successful.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, that right there inspired me more than anything. So whether you're on the baseball field and you move up in the ranks or on the football field and you move up into a coach or whatever, or in management you move up, you know, you can start as a follower. But the only way to lead well is to be a great follower.
That's right. 100%.
And you know, with Mr. Hugh, everything I preached, I think we had about 15 employees now then when Mr. Hugh came on board. And I preached about leading and how, you know, look, I'm going to back you, I'm going to support you, but let's believe in the decision. We'll do it for 3 months. If it's wrong, then we'll sit down and have another meeting. But I want you to follow me and trust me that I'm making the right decision for you and your family. Let's do it. And then, oh my goodness, did the script change when he came on the property. And the first day, he told me so many pieces of my regiment that was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I was up at 4:30. I went to bed at 10 o'clock. I was out working everybody. But as far as the talent behind how I trained dogs, I was off by probably 50%.
Yeah.
So I was 50% of my talent was coming out into that dog training. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, to shut up and say, yes, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
It's just like I tell the kids on the baseball field or the football field. I said, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say, yes, sir, no, sir, I don't know. Let me coach you. And if we don't start getting better and we're not executing plans, then we'll talk, okay? And at the end of the practice, if you want to stay after and we'll have a discussion about something, let's do it. 9 times out of 10, we start moving the needle in the right direction.
Yeah.
And what do you think, by looking at a leader, what do you see in leaders that is a key component to make that follower want to follow? You mentioned a few things. You mentioned that, you know, you need to get an attaboy every once in a while.
Yep.
But what gains respect for that leader when you're looking at that leader to really make followers want to follow and follow suit with the plan to execute?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, 100% needing that boost every now and then. You just need to be recognized by somebody, because most people that are believing in the plan and following, they're okay with not needing a pat on the back every day, but you have to notice them every now and then, and I think you do that well. I also think a leader has to have some compassion and some grace. Mm-hmm. And there's got to be a balance, because if you have too much, then somebody abuses it. You know, you give an inch, they take a mile. But there has to be a little bit, because everybody's human and imperfect. I think that a great leader listens to their people too.
That's a tough one for me, and I work on it.
It is, and you do work on it, and you've grown leaps and bounds on that. I think that a great leader recognizes when a follower is trying to make that change from a follower to a leader, because you need that out here as well, where they step up in their role. They're still a follower to the main plan, to you, but they're ready to step into maybe a leadership role where they're leading others under them. I think you do that well, and you recognize and notice, and you try to support them in that. Yeah. And I think that's important. I think any leader has to support the people that are following them, and they have to be made to feel important sometimes. Yeah. And I think that anybody that feels that way wants to work with and work for that person. You do it with dogs, right? It's kind of the same thing. And it is the same thing. Yeah, I used to say all the time when I was pregnant with Grayson, this is a human. This is a baby. This is not going to be like a dog. And you were like, it's the same thing, Ellen. It is the same thing.
You got to hold them accountable.
You do.
But you still got to love them up.
Yep. And you have to teach them that respect and that discipline, all in a healthy way. It's the same thing. It's just like when you're working that dog and you want that dog to complete a task for you. You can't beat the dog down and then expect the dog to want to complete the task. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. Sure. But if you treat that dog with respect and you show that dog some love, then you've got a great relationship.
He wants to work for you.
Yeah. And I think open, honest communication. Open, honest communication. Yep. Keeps any relationship, and a leader and a follower, not just like us in our marriage, but you with employees, you with the kids, me with the kids. I think that keeps a relationship healthy.
Yeah. You know, that's something that you've heard me say at least 10,000 times, at least. The only thing I care about is effort and attitude.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a leader, I say that in every aspect where I lead, no matter if it's with the dogs, the ball teams, out here on the out here at Mossy Pond, in every category in Mossy Pond. We got 20 different categories, but if one of our chefs has a great attitude, they're passionate about their work, and they're giving 100% effort, I don't care that they burnt the meal. Right. I don't care that it's 20 minutes late. I don't care that the baseball player got out. I don't care that he struck out, but he had a competitive at bat. He was digging in. He was watching, when he's on the on-deck circle, he was watching the pitcher. He was studying the pitcher, what his moves were, what his pitches were. When he dug in, he had a competitive at bat, and he fought hard to the end. He didn't complain with the umpire when he rung him up. He hustled back to the dugout, and he said he's going to get it the next time. It's the same thing in life.
Yeah.
And as a leader, there is not a person that I have ever encountered that I have been trying to inspire and I have led. Mossy Pond, ball teams, the dogs, if they're given effort and attitude, that you can discipline them or reprimand them or bring them down. A kid just swung at a pitch outside the zone, to fuss at him outside of the zone, and he swung hard as he could, and it was just a ball width outside of the zone. To harp on him and bring him down, or he struck out for whatever reason, but he was trying. He knows that he shouldn't have struck out.
Yeah.
I mean, our 5-year-olds know that they're not supposed to strike out. But to bring them down, here's something your papa taught me. And he was one of my biggest mentors in work ethic.
Yes.
Okay, work ethic. When it came to work ethic, So when I was 17 years old, I was out here helping him farm, coming to see you.
Yep.
When I wasn't playing ball, and he taught me something. He would laugh at me. He said, "Do you realize you worked 16 hours on this Saturday, and you fixed more and got more done, but you tore up more crap
I remember.
than we would have torn up in a month."
Yeah.
And he didn't say it with effort and attitude. He didn't use those terms. But what I learned is somebody that's going to work hard and somebody that's going to give effort. They're doing twice as much, so they're going to make more mistakes.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if you can inspire them to stay motivated, then long term they're going to learn from those mistakes, and they're going to move the needle in the right direction to be better if that attitude stays up. Now, the imperfections and the faults and the disappointments can bring that person down. That's what a leader's supposed to do: pat them on the butt. Hey, we got it.
Yeah.
I don't care that you messed up.
The results don't matter.
That's right. And it blows people's mind, and you know me, and maybe you can relate or talk about this a little bit, but you know me, but the managers come to you and talk to you about how mind-blowing what Brad gets upset about.
Yeah.
And what Brad does not get upset about.
Yeah.
We literally wrecked a buggy yesterday evening, and it went in the pond, and it's destroyed. It cost us $40,000 buggy and a $20,000 wagon. Brad wasn't upset a bit, but they were working. They were trying to get done with that hunt, get it cleaned up, and get it back out for a hog hunt going out in an hour.
It wasn't being careless or reckless.
No.
It was, yeah.
I mean, that is something on the baseball field. He may be the worst batter we got, but he doesn't get in trouble. And the superstar, the shortstop, that, he walks the last 5 steps before he crosses the chalk line. Brad is in his butt every single move he makes.
Yeah.
But I think that as a leader, if you can keep the effort and attitude, and it sounds so simple. It's just effort and attitude.
Yeah.
Keep a positive attitude, no matter if you hit a grand slam, 2-run shot, whatever, double off the wall, or you struck out and you went 0 for 4 and you had 4 strikeouts that game.
Yeah.
If you can maintain that attitude through those things and keep it level, keep it plateaued, and you're working your butt off, there's no way, no how that, with my mindset, I'm going to say a negative word to you.
You just said exactly what I was thinking. It's your mindset.
Yeah.
It is the way that you are. And I think that's why you're a good leader. But you're right. People never understand, like, he's not even mad about that. I mean, I was scared to tell him, and he's not even mad about that. You're mad about if it would have been because of a lack of effort, or they were just mad and they were like, I don't care if it rolls in the water or not. If a buggy rolls in the water, or a kid strikes out. It is like you fist bump them like, hey man, it's good. But it's a mindset thing. But that is what keeps you from being in a bad place too. You don't allow yourself to stay there. If you in your life, you never allow yourself to stay in a place where it's a bad place, or a place of self-doubt or pity or whatever. You don't allow it. Well, you're teaching our children, you're teaching these other children, and their families are teaching them as well, but you're giving it to them in a way where they're working for something and striving for something, to keep a mindset that doesn't allow them to stay in the trenches. Look, it's not a big deal. You're going to get another chance. And even if you didn't get another chance, did you give it everything you had that chance? Yes, sir. Well, then that's it. You're successful. Today was a success then. And, okay, Jones, for example. Jones, everybody gets tickled about him because he strikes out and he's still smiling, running back to the dugout. And
well, he knows his daddy's going to put his foot up his butt if he don't smile.
Yeah, but right here recently, he's faced a little bit of adversity, right? He's learning to bunt.
Yeah.
And it's not been the easiest thing in the world for him. And he and I had a conversation the other day where I said, You're going to look back at this, though, and you're going to laugh because you're going to be like, gosh, it's so easy. But you have to work at it. You have to try. You have to keep practicing, even when it's hard. So what he showed us a little bit of emotion, like a couple of nights ago, because he was a little bit frustrated because he wasn't getting it, and he wanted to already have it. He wanted to be doing it successfully. And it shocked us because we've never seen that from Jones, ever. But it was good. I think we both probably thought, we haven't even had this conversation, but I think we both probably thought, like, this is good. This is where Jones is going to learn that, okay, this is hard, but we're going to smile and we're going to keep working, and we're not going to dwell in this place of frustration and sadness and pity. What did he do yesterday? He comes in and he's like,
80% fair.
Daddy, I bunted. I did so good today. And both of us were like, good job, Jones. And, see, if you would have stayed sad or you would have focused too long on it, you wouldn't be where you're at, because you got to change your mindset. It's about your mindset, about the way you think about things. But he's a perfect example of his little mindset. He's always so happy. But
that's why I love sports. That's why I love youth sports. I mean, it teaches those triumphs that you and I went through in life.
Right.
Big boy decisions, big boy cracks on the chin that we had to stomach and endure, that we thought, this is it, it's over.
Yeah.
But they get to learn that through the game of baseball or the game of football or whatever sport that they play. Just like Hadley going through a little bit of adversity with golf right now. It's a new sport for but she's so amazing at gym and cheer that it's just been so easy.
Yeah.
And
or wakeboarding or skiing or anything she tries to do
it's just been easy
for her. Yeah.
And sports teach them so much, but they have to be led properly through the adversity. Jones doesn't get in trouble on that baseball field but for two things:
attitude and effort.
That is it.
Yeah.
And what did I ask him after his lesson? I said, did you try as hard as you could?
Yep.
And he thought about it, and he looked at me, he said, yes, sir. I said, it's fine then.
Yeah.
I said, here's the thing. I said, set a goal that between now and the end of the season, that any time that you bunt, you can get the bat on the ball. It may not always go fair. It doesn't go fair in the MLB.
Sure, yeah.
But if you give 100% effort, I promise you, if you trust me, the needle will move in the right direction to make you a better bunter.
Yeah.
But the effort and attitude is what it boils down to. It boils down to the managers out here. I mean, I have some amazing managers.
Fantastic.
We're so blessed.
Yes.
We're so blessed. All the employees, but our managers, you look back, I mean, how long, you're definitely my most amazing follower, but look at Lee Howard. Look at what he's done since he was 18 years old. He is genuinely exactly like you in following my decisions. And he had to endure those, those shortcomings that we had through the years. And when it wasn't perfect, but he believed in it.
Yeah.
And all of them are amazing. But
we really are so blessed.
But what it goes back to, Lee works as many hours as any man that I know. He's always got a good attitude. Mm-hmm. So me and him never have cross words.
Yeah.
And I think that was healthy for us, for me as a leader, to realize that and know, hey, look, if he's trying hard as he can and he's keeping a good attitude, everything else, I just got to trust in God that it's going to work out. And he's had imperfections with dogs and, customers and relationships and stuff, just like the business has, but he always works hard.
Yeah.
So the effort's there. And his attitude's always amazing.
Yeah.
His attitude's a lot of times better than mine.
Yeah. But that's the yin and the yang, you know?
Right.
I think, too, we are so blessed. We have such a great group of people out here. Like, I couldn't have dreamed this up any better. Mm-hmm. When you add to this group, it's hard because there is such a good dynamic. There's so many good people. So I remember when we started kind of slowly adding people, it was a little frightening because you're like, gosh, everybody here genuine. They're happy because they're happy. They're nice because they're nice. They're passionate because they're passionate. We're not asking them to go take a class and say, hey, we want to teach you how to be nice. We want to teach you how to think of other people. They just do it. Mm-hmm. It's just who they are. And I think that is a true blessing. And I think that is what makes our team so great. And it makes it feel like family, because everybody's just passionate about what they're doing. They're happy to be here. They're happy to be on the task. Now, we're not all perfect, and we all have bad days. Somebody's going to have a day that they're not as happy, or, I mean, we're human, right? We're not always going to be in a good mood, and we're not going to have a smile plastered on our face. But in their heart, who they are to their core, the person that they are, that's real.
Yeah.
They might have a bad moment, but.
And that's what inspires me.
Yeah.
It inspires me to make the right decision. It inspires me to get up every morning. It inspires me, and vice versa. I think the effort and attitude on both sides, that's another thing as a leader. And the amazing leaders that we've had on this field-tested podcast, to listen to them, you have to be in the action to be an amazing leader.
Yeah.
And these leaders that do an amazing job and then try to take a step back, it fails.
Yeah.
So the effort and attitude goes along with me as well.
Yeah, it does.
And, I work on it daily. I don't work on the effort part because, I mean, that's me. I love the effort.
You've got the effort.
But the attitude is daily. And, my walk with Christ has got stronger.
Yeah.
And I that has helped my attitude that I've been working on better than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, rededicate my life not too long ago, and mine and your relationship with Christ, and getting our kids more heavily involved. You can feel it.
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
feel it, and I think you talked about that earlier, but the attitude part, manage people with grace.
Yeah.
But here was the hard part with that is manage them with grace, but can you still hold them accountable? Mr. Hank Parker in here the other day, I asked him that question. I was holding my breath. I was like, you watch Nick Saban, how passionate, and I mean, he's cussing and everything. So, that's what I got to do when I go out there. But hold them accountable. Hold their feet to the line.
Yeah.
But manage them with grace when they make mistakes.
Yep.
And that is such a tight rope, a tight balance with mine and the kids' relationship on the ball field with the dogs. Hold them accountable. Look, no, you messed up. Listen, I love you, but you messed up. We got to do better. I mean, without kicking and screaming and cussing. And there have been times that I've went through that.
Yeah.
And I've lost some amazing employees through it. But I hope that I've learned from it.
Yeah.
And the effort's been there, but the attitude part is something that I pray about and I work on daily. And I'm studying this leader thing. That's why I started this podcast. And I love it. I love hard things.
Yeah.
Leading is the hardest I've ever done.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I can see such a change. So I see how much you've grown. Not that you were bad or awful before.
Let it out.
But this is a safe space. But I do see a huge change. I do see the differences in how you handle a situation than you would have 5 years ago.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine 15 years ago?
No. Like, you know how many times, you won't remember this.
Careful now, there's recording.
But there was a day you were trying to put up these black plastic panels, like plastic things, and you were putting stakes in the ground. Mm-hmm. It was something for dog training. Yeah. I don't remember what the task was, but I had to bring you the supplies.
It's silt fence to make a tunnel.
Yes.
Where the dog will turn around tighter.
Yes, it was a tunnel. Okay.
Yep.
Well, 15 years ago, you chunked that hammer. Do you remember that? And I was just trying to hold the post. I was trying to be supportive, being a good follower. And you were frustrated because it was not doing right, and you chunked that hammer. I just walked over there, and I picked the hammer up, and I brought it back, and I didn't say anything, and I just waited a minute, and you were frustrated, and and there was probably other things happening too. It probably wasn't just the fence, but that's probably what like kind of put you over the edge at the moment.
No excuses.
No excuses. But I definitely, you would not have that same reaction. You would now just be like, I mean, that's very minor and very small, but
that's a great example, and that's maturity.
It is.
You know, and maturity with my walk with Christ, you know, but maturity as a leader and maturity as a person. And you got to grow every day.
Yeah.
You got to grow as a follower. You got to grow as a leader. And it's tough. And that's why I'm so inspired about being an amazing leader. And that's why I'm studying it. I'm studying it like I'm trying to get a doctor's in it.
Yeah.
And you watch me get home at 9 or 10 o'clock after work, 16 hours, and then coaching. And I lay in the bed to 11 or 12 at night?
Yeah.
Watching stuff to help me be a better leader.
Yeah.
Back up the next morning at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So.
We're growing. We're both growing, being leaders and followers, and I think we're growing in the right direction. I'm proud of where we are now, you know, versus where we were, and the struggles and the triumphs and all that, and excited about what's to come. And I know there will be more struggles, and I know there'll be more triumphs, but
keep moving the needle.
Yep.
You know, the podcast is called Field Tested, and out of all the guys we've had on here, the people we've had on here, if there has ever been a piece of the puzzle that we've field tested, it's what we have discussed today.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being on here today. I know you were very uncomfortable. You told me for 2 weeks that you were not.
I wasn't excited.
You were not excited. You did not want to be on there. And, you know, we don't talk about this stuff. This wasn't staged. I didn't tell you a single thing what we were talking about.
No, I would have liked a little
heads up.
Yeah, to know what we were going to be discussing.
What I love you for is how genuine you are. And I wanted the genuine answers. I wanted the listeners to hear exactly how your heart felt. And this was the easiest podcast I've ever done.
Good. Hardest for me? I'm kidding. No, it was easy.
Because it was genuine. It was easy. It was real. And I think that's what people need to hear. But I'll say it on the record. I love you, and thank you so much for being that follower. And there is no way, no how that this business would have done what it has through the years, through the triumphs, without me breaking, without the team breaking, without the whole mountain crumbling down, if it wasn't for you. And I believe that in my heart, and I know that.
Well, thank you. And I love you too. That was nice. Thank you.
Well, we're recording.
Yeah,
here, so
I understand.
Hey, guys, thank y'all for listening. This is another podcast, Field Tested podcast with Brad Arington. Thank y'all so much for listening.